Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Themed Attraction Student Showcase. I'm going to teach you a little bit how to upload your project right now and also give you a couple of hints on how you should present yourself. So, um, hopefully, none of the panelists are listening to this, but if they are, that's okay. But chances are they're not. And it's just you and I, and you're about to upload your project. And let me just give you this little bit of a hint. There's always that moment right before you graduate. It's April when I record this. What I would and if you're a student and you're a senior, you've been told what to do your entire life, and in a couple months you realize, wait a minute, I don't have a job and I don't have a plan, and for the first time, no one is going to tell me what to do. Um, Now, fast forward about 5 or 6 years, and you're a working professional, and you are out of work and you would love to have the opportunity to be able to put your portfolio in front of a professional who could potentially hire you. And so, with that, don't take what we're about to do here for granted. We have some amazing panelists from some amazing companies, and all of them are picked because they could potentially some point down the road, hire you. So play your cards right. Be nice to them. Send friend thank you notes. Show up to the meeting. Turn your camera on, um, and interact. Ask questions and get to know them. But definitely send a handwritten thank you note when you're finished, just to let them know, hey, I appreciate your time. That sort of thing. Those sort of things most people don't do, and they they um they speak volumes about you as a person. So that's my hint and my advice to do that. Play your cards right, because when someone puts up a really good project, people will say, "Hey, who is that kid? Let's let's go hire that guy. What's his contact information?" So play your cards right. The other piece of information that I like to give you is give yourself or give the panelists an idea about what you're trying to accomplish, or what your project is trying to accomplish. Hey, I'm a show writer. I just like to do a script. So I'm not trying to do an entire project here. I'm just doing a script. And so that's what this is. Or this is an overall project, but I'm submitting it as an individual, but my role in this project was this. And so I want to show you my model building in this overall project. So these designs are not my designs, but I did the model for it. And that way you're telling people sort of what to look at, if that makes sense. You're directing them. So uh, you're taking someone who doesn't have any context to what you're trying to present, and taking them down a path, a journey. And it's partially the story of the project, but it's also your story. So just keep that in mind, that the way you do this upload will help sell your project and also sell yourself. So do a video, do an audio presentation, do drawings, do supporting links, whatever you need to do. Okay. So I'll leave you with that. And I'm going to get into the presentation. This is actually the presentation from last year, and then we'll splice in the differences from the previous for this year, for the things that are pertinent to you.
I'm going to go through how to upload your documents to the showcase today. So I have created a dummy account, which is basically exactly like the one that you're going to create. If you have not created one already, basically, if you go to the homepage of themedattraction.com, this menu has changed just a little bit, but you can either click here, register on this link, or you can go how to use this site, and then there's a registration link, but it'll take you right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through this prompt, create a username, go through the verification process, and then you will have an account. At that point, you're going to log in, and there's actually a back end to or a front end to use for themedattraction.com. And we're not going to use that. We're actually going to go straight to the WordPress backend. So if you know how to use WordPress, then this is basically a very typical WordPress installation. So what you do, it's the universal login for any WordPress is themedattraction.com in this case, forward slash WP dash admin. So you're going to type that in, hit enter, and at that point, it will take you to this login page. You could also, as you see, go from the home page, but you're going to log in here. This is my dummy account that has the same privileges that you will have. And when you log in, you're going to see what this right here. Now, all of this information right here, you don't this is just WordPress garbage. You don't really need to worry about that at all. All the stuff you need to worry about is over here on the left-hand side. There's posts primarily, and then media where you add all your drawings, images, things like that. Um, don't need to worry about, really, it's just those two. That's kind of what you're going to work on right there, those two things. And if you click on all posts, you can see any post that you created in there previously. So, for example, if you needed to go in there and edit anything that you did previously, you could always go back. Now, this takes a couple minutes just because it's a fairly big site, so we will be patient. And of course, it always takes longer when you wait for it. Here we go. Okay, so these are all the articles that I created under this username. You can see there's actually quite a few. But when you are going to add your stuff, essentially, you're going to click Add New, or you can click Add New here for the very first time. Okay, so you click Add New, and this is pretty straightforward. Hit Add New, and you got to wait. If this is a Chrome browser, so you can see that this will think for a minute, and you just let it think so that it goes through its whole process. I promise it's not always this slow. There we go. All right. So WordPress, even if you haven't used it, is very pretty straightforward. And I will just say this: if you get stuck, your goal or your task here is not to be a webmaster. So don't try, just email me, Nate@themedattraction.com. I'll give you my number. We'll Zoom. We'll go through it. We'll make sure that you understand completely how to upload your documents. So if you need me to help you format it, that's absolutely fine. That's not the deliverable. The deliverable is obviously the design project. So, but essentially, this is basic WordPress. So you have basically one text box to type and paste all of your information into. If you know how to use WP Bakery Page Builder, that's what these two buttons are for. You can toggle a front end and a back end editor. So if you want to add rows and columns, things like that, if you want to get really fancy, you're more than welcome to use that. There's a lot of good YouTube tutorials on how to use WP Bakery Page Builder. I'm not going to go through that, but because you probably won't need it. But that being said, here's what you're going to do. You're going to add a title. So it's going to be, let's give it a name. The Star Ride. Okay. And then you're going to also put your college. I'm from SCAD today. Okay. And that way we just kind of, you can give credit to, your team, your university. What I'd like you to do also is list out your team members here. And then also, I know you registered with this information, but the highest level of student achievement in here. So, for example, if you have a team full of freshmen and one person is a graduate, put that it's a team of graduates. So it's the highest level, sort of like the airlines. When you got to board with the highest level boarding priority, you always have to go behind. Anyway, so if you have a bunch of seniors, then put senior in there. If you have all sophomores and one senior, say that you're a senior group, because anytime you have an influence of a senior person, that's who you count. So in any case, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead and type this information. I'm going to go just grab some random text from a website. We'll just do foxnews.com. Just grab some random text here, just so that you know what we're going to do here. So if I hit paste Control V, that will bring in everything, including links. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll paste it into and again, it's Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Hopefully you know that by now, but I will typically paste that into like a notepad or WordPad and then recopy and paste it again so it doesn't bring in any code, because it'll even bring in fonts for you. But just to let you know how WordPress works, this paragraph, if you highlight the text, it will stay as paragraph here. That's an important thing to leave. That's basically, it's going to be formatted to look proper for any browser as long as you leave it in paragraph mode. So don't go trying to, make it bold or italic, anything like that. Just leave it in paragraph, and that will generally take care of the sizing of your font properly. So you don't have to do any major changes. Also, this this toggle button, toolbar toggle, I can say it. Um, this will add these little things. So you can add a text color if you want. You can add a bunch of different things. You can even add special characters, and you can add a link. So if you have a link to a website, you can highlight the text, click insert link, and then I can just go cnn.com and hit enter or apply right here. And then if when we go to this link, it'll take us to cnn.com. If we want to undo that, we can just click break link. Okay. A couple other things you need to know. This is the visual editor, and then this is the text editor. The text gives you all the HTML code. So that's what it's generating underneath when you type it in here. So with that said, you also want to give it a title. So typically what you do is you highlight the text and then you change it here. Heading 1 is typically for SEO purposes, your best text. Not that we care about SEO. And then if let's say it's less important text, you'd put it under heading 2 and it'll get smaller, but also bold. The style sheet for the website will style it. So essentially just use this as your, kind of text guide. If you just keep it as paragraph heading 2 and heading 1 for most everything, you'll probably be in good shape. So now the other thing you can do is you can add an image. If you click add media here, you've got a choice. You can either upload any image that you previously have uploaded. This little thing will spin for a minute and then it'll pull it up. And so, hey, we have a picture of the Spirit of Time podcast. So let's Mike West a little shout out. So you click on whatever image, or you can click upload and just drag it from your computer. We'll do Mike West in this case and insert into post. Okay. It'll crunch it for a second. Now it may take a second if it's a big drawing, and the reason for that because it's actually going to try to compress that for you. So if you put in a 6 MB drawing, it's going to take a minute. So give it a minute. The nice thing about this is you can drag. You can see where the cursor is. You can put this image in different places. But more importantly, when this box pops up, you can align the text. So I can actually align it so that the text will wrap left around it, or in this case, right around it, or in the center, it'll try to middle align it, which that generally doesn't work that well. But the other thing you can do is you can edit and you can change the size. So you can change it to a thumbnail size and it'll be tiny. And then, you can make it medium or full size or custom size. You can just give it a size. I want this to be 225 by 213, and you can even give it a link, but that's basically how that works. So you can basically build your project right here in this canvas. Okay. Now, one thing that you can do is you can add a video. So for example, if you have a YouTube page, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a YouTube. This is, well, I'll do one without an ad. Let's see. Okay, something from Spider-Man. Watch. Oh, yeah, of course there's an ad. Okay. But what you do is you go like this. You hit share, embed, and then you can copy this code right here. This code is the embed, and it'll embed that video. So it will play right from your browser. So if you have a project that you uploaded to YouTube, you can just upload it to your YouTube channel. If you don't have a YouTube channel, feel free to send that file over to us. We'll upload it to our YouTube channel and we'll send you that code. So that way you don't have to worry about how to do it. It's kind of, you can actually upload an actual file, but it will basically, if you tried to load it through like a non-YouTube or Vimeo type source, it would basically crash a phone when it's trying. You'd have to download all 6 MB of file before it would play. So it's best to use YouTube in this embed feature. So in any case, you grab the code, you click embed, you click copy, you grab the code, and you go over here to the text box. You place your cursor where you want it. So in this case, I want the video to appear right there. And I'm going to hit text, and then you just hit Control V for paste. Boom. It gives you this little iframe code here that starts and ends there. And then when you go back, there it is. And it'll actually play inside your browser. Okay. So when you get done, what you're going to do is, well, there's a couple things you can do. You can hit save draft, and that's a good thing to do. make sure you don't navigate away from the page till this circle is finished. Now, if you happen to mess up, you can actually go back in time, and there's a back button. I think I actually have to publish it before you'll see it. But you can actually go back to a previous draft. So if 20 minutes ago it's fine, now all of a sudden, if all of a sudden everything is messed up, then you can back up in time and go to a previous revision of this. So just know that that's available in this tab here once I hit publish. So
This year, we have a certain number of categories, and I'm going to take you to the gallery. This is actually the gallery right here. Um, and if you notice, we have 6 different categories that you can submit. So if you're an individual working on a project and you're a freshman or sophomore, year 1, 2 is what you're going to check on the box in terms of category. Sorry about that. Um, Individual entries 3 and 4. If you're a junior or a senior, then check this box for individuals. If you're a graduate or if you've been employed less than 1 year, if you're an intern with Universal Creative, whoever you're an intern with, but you're postgraduate, that's okay. You can be an individual. Then if you're on a team, it's the highest level of team member that's on your team. So if you have a bunch of freshmen and sophomores and you have one guy who's a graduate working on your team, then you would check that you're a team and graduates and interns. Okay. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to get back in here into the dashboard, and you're going to create your post like we did just previously, and give it a second. So all you do is post, add new on this right over here. There it comes. All right. So now you click add new post again that you've probably already done. Now, all this other stuff we've talked about pretty much, except the featured image. But what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down here to the category, and you're going to go find 2024 showcase individuals for graduates and interns, 2024 showcase individual year 1, 2, 2000. So you have to check just a single box. Okay. If you check that single box, it will populate your project right here properly. So make sure you check the appropriate box for whether you're a team or an individual, and then also what year in school you are. And then once you hit publish, it should populate here. If you don't check a box, then it won't populate. Well, it'll probably show on the home page, but it may not show anywhere, and it won't populate at all. So it's very important that you put the proper category here along with your post. So make sure you do that, and then that will do you well.
now here's the other thing you want to do. You want to add a featured image. And here's why. If you don't add a featured image, then your showcase will be blank when it appears. You want to give it actually, let me pull this up for you and I'll show you what it looks like. If we look at last year's student showcase, it will be, yeah, right here on this link. And if we look at the actual showcase, showcase results. Well, here we go, right here. Okay. This is the 2021 student showcase. Backing out. And so if you don't do a featured image, this will be blank right here when it comes to seeing your project. So you definitely want to have a featured image. If you don't, it'll look out of place. So make sure you do that. So you just pick a good representative image from there and then hit set featured image. So there are a lot of other things that you could potentially, I mean, there's a bunch of this stuff down here. You don't need to mess with it. It's not going to help you. It's not going to hurt you, but just, these sidebar positions, just leave them as they are. Pretty much the only thing you need to do to publish your project is add the title, add your content here in the middle, make sure you add the appropriate, I guess that's a meta, I think it's a meta text tag, something like that. If you want to add keywords, you can. That's not going to help you or hurt you. Give it a category and give it a featured image. Then when you're done, hit publish. Okay. Now that's going to go to an approval process just because we want to make sure no one's posting pornography or something like that. But that will then go basically onto the page, onto the student showcase page under concept art, and it will populate automatically. That page will be produced here in the next 24 hours. You'll start to see it go up. So that is your thing. And then you can always go view your post and see what it looks like when you're done. Okay. So this is what our thing looks like. And here's the video that we posted from Spider-Man. It plays, and then a little bit of text, and then also a little bit about you when you created your profile. So that's really kind of the overview of how to upload your stuff. A little strategy, by the way, for the categories. Remember that there are exactly. Oh, let me before I get into that. If you need to go back in and edit your post, you can literally just navigate to it on the page. So let's say we're here. You can just go to your link here. In this case, it's the dash star dash the ride scad. So if I hit edit post, I can just go right. It'll take me right back into that page, and you can edit your page. So again, if you get stuck, let me know, and I will be more than happy to help you go fix this in any way you want. The other thing you can do is you can click this, and you can change it so that it will be published on a certain date at a certain time. So if you want to hold off on it being published, feel free to do that as well. I think that is pretty much everything we need to tell you about. Oh, one last thing. We mentioned this in the kickoff, but the deliverable here is to build something on this platform. That is one of the deliverables. What we don't do is we don't just say, do something like this, where it's like, link to my stuff, and then it goes to your own personal portfolio. That's not the deliverable task. Make sure you don't do that. I mean, Falcon's creative group could put a link to one of their old projects and they would blow everybody away, right? And everyone's got a portfolio. The task here is to build it on this platform to be able to sell the panelists on your pitch in a few minutes time, just like you would going into your career. Now, that being said, you can always put supporting documents in a different place. For example, development drawings, or whatever, a making of, whatever you need to do to sell your project. Feel free to add those documents to a different website, but the thrust of your pitch should be right here on this page.
If you have any questions, you can always reach out, nate@themedattraction.com, or I can also do a Zoom call with you or do a phone call with you. So if you have any questions or if you're getting stuck, just call me.